Most beginner drone crashes happen before the drone is even in the air, and it's usually not the drone, it's a few simple mistakes people make before takeoff. So in this video, I'm going to show you 17 mistakes to avoid on your first drone flights, so you stop getting scary warnings and you can fly with control right away. And near the end, I'll show you my panic plan that removes 90% of beginner stress. G'day friends, most beginners crash their first drone in the first few minutes, not because the drone is bad, because we treat it like a toy and skip the boring stuff before takeoff. And I'm just as guilty as the next person because I did this on my very first drone. I powered it on, I had no idea what I was doing, and I flew it straight into a ceiling fan that was on full blast. 1 minute, it was done. So here's the goal for your first flight, and it's not cinematic footage. Your goal is a safe 3-step flight. Number 1 is to take off and hover for 30 seconds. Number 2 is a slow forward and a slow back. You want to do small movements only here. And number 3 is to land smoothly. The first few flights you do are more for control, not crazy maneuvers. Now, before you even worry about where to fly, let's handle the stuff that causes most beginner warnings before takeoff. Most beginners pull the drone out of the box and hit the power button straight away. Then they get warnings, camera issues, or a weird takeoff, all from a few tiny things they missed. So I want you to do this quick physical check first. It takes 30 seconds and it will save you from crashing your drone. Number 1 is to check your gimbal and camera. So remove the gimbal cover and any packaging foam or stickers. Number 2 is the sensors. Check for protective stickers, even clear ones, and wipe the sensors clean. Number 3, check the props and power. So make sure props aren't cracked or bent and that they're locked on correctly, of course. Then make sure you click the battery in firmly as well. And number 4 is storage. Insert your SD card before you take off. That was the boring physical check. Now here's the boring digital check, because default settings can get you in so much more trouble very quickly. When you first get a drone, it feels like it's ready to fly, but before your first flight, do these 2 things first. Update the drone at home and set your safety settings as well. Firstly, let's talk about updates. Make sure you update the drone firmware and the app before you leave the house, because doing it in the field is painfully slow and it just takes forever. And you also need to keep in mind that updates can reset your settings back to default settings. I've had that happen to me even when everything was perfectly set before the update. Then I want you to make sure that these are set before takeoff. Number 1 is return to home altitude. Set this higher than the tallest things around you. I usually set mine to around 50 meters, but these are my starting points. You should set yours for your area and local rules. Number 2 is flight limits. Now, this is especially important for beginners. Set a max distance that keeps the drone close so you don't lose orientation, and a reasonable max altitude. I set my max altitude at 120 meters or 400 feet as it's the legal height. Number 3 is obstacle avoidance. If your drone has it, turn it on for your first few flights. And lastly, make a quick battery check before you lift off. Now, don't launch just yet, because first we need to make sure the drone actually knows where home is. Don't take off the second your drone connects. Wait until you see GPS lock and the message home point updated. If you skip this step, return to home can trigger later and your drone will come back to the wrong place. So before you fly, confirm these 2 things. That 1, GPS is locked, and number 2, that the home point is set on the map. It will literally tell you. And if it's taking forever to connect, just lift off just to around 3 feet and hover for 10 seconds. Sometimes that helps lock it in. And this is a huge one. If you move locations after takeoff, update your home point. Like for instance, if you launch from a boat and the boat moves, your home point is now over open water. If you hit return to home, it will come back and land in the water. It will just sink to the bottom. So in that situation, either update the home point to the controller or launch from land first. Once your home point is set, the next trap is assuming return to home will always save you. It will if you set it up correctly. Now, a lot of beginners treat the return to home button like a guaranteed safety net, but it only works properly if a few things are true. Assuming your home point is set and your return to home altitude is high enough, here's the part most people miss. Don't launch from under trees, roofs, or anything that blocks the sky. This may sound obvious, but I learnt this lesson early on. I launched on a hot day from the shade under a tall tree. I flew out, then hit return to home. The drone came back to the home point, and when it descended, it landed in the tree. And that climb to get it back was brutal. So do this instead. Look straight up before takeoff. Make sure you've got a clear path to the sky above your home point. And also test your return to home once in an open field when you get a new drone. so you know it behaves the way you expect it to. Now I want you also to practice cancelling return to home, because if your drone is lost or you can't work out its orientation, return to home is great to get it close to you again, and then once you can see the drone again, you can cancel and then fly normally. All right, your drone is now set up safely. Now let's talk about the easiest way beginners crash on day one. A lot of beginners do this because there's no wind and the drone feels closer and safer, but indoors is actually more dangerous for 3 reasons. First, there are obstacles everywhere: ceiling fans, as mentioned, lights, walls, or your brand new LCD TV. Second, the drone's prop wash bounces off walls, so it can feel very unpredictable and unstable. And third, many drones don't get good GPS indoors, so they can drift when you least expect them to. Instead, the easiest way to do this is just go outside to a wide open field, keep it low and close, and make sure there are no people, trees, power lines, buildings, ceiling fans, or water nearby. Once you're outside in a wide open spot, the next mistake is flying like a video game with your eyes glued to the screen. As a beginner, it's very easy to stare at the screen and forget you're flying a real object in the sky. That's when people tend to panic, especially when the drone turns to face you and the left-right controls are backwards. So here's the simple fix. For your first few practice flights, take off with the camera facing away from you, keep the drone low and close, and practice until the sticks feel natural. If it helps, you can label your controller. I used to label the keys for my piano lessons when I was a kid until I learned what the keys actually were, and I still can't play piano. Anyway, practice one movement at a time. Your first skill isn't filming, it's control. And if you're thinking, okay, but what do I actually practice? Well, here's the exact first flight drill you need. People tell beginners to practice, but they never tell you what to practice. So you either do too little and stay nervous, or you do too much and get too confident and crash. So here's a simple drill I wish I did on my first day when I first had my drone. So first thing you want to do is you want to take off and hover chest to eye level, camera facing away from you. Make sure you stay fairly close to the drone. Not too close, you don't want to get hit by the propellers. And the next step is to fly forward and back. Fly forward a few feet. Then bring your drone back to the starting point. Just go forward and back on the controls. Now we're going to practice left and right. Fly left a few feet, then back to the starting point. And once you get the hang of that, now I want you to fly a square. So you make a small square while keeping the drone facing forward the whole time. So you fly forward, then fly right, then fly back, then fly left back to the starting point. Now we're going to make it a little bit more difficult. Turn the drone so it's facing you this time and fly that same square again, because this is where left and right are reversed. Do that until it feels easy and almost automatic, and that's a successful first flight. And just a quick note, if you don't want to memorize all 17 of these, I made a free printable first flight checklist for you. It covers the pre-flight check, home point, return to home, wind, battery, sensors, everything we're going through today on this video. So grab that from the description and then come right back, because the next tips are where most beginners lose drones. It is tempting to range test some of these new drones, because some of these drones can go crazy far, but don't do that as a beginner. Here's why it gets people in so much trouble. So first up, let's talk about the orientation. It's easy to think the drone is facing one way when it's actually facing another. Next thing we have to talk about is wind, because you might fly out with a tailwind, then realize you have to fight the wind coming back, which is why battery levels are so important. Fighting wind burns battery power really, really quickly, and you can end up with an emergency landing far from you, where you may not recover your drone at all. So just keep it simple for your first bunch of flights. Keep the drone close and in clear line of sight. Use a max distance limit in the app if you need to. Start heading back no later than 30% battery, and even earlier if it's really windy, because you can always test range later, but right now you need to learn control. Now, distance isn't the only risk, because altitude changes everything, because wind often changes as well. And beginners miss this all the time. The wind where you're standing is not the wind up at 100 feet or 300 feet or 400 feet. Trees, buildings, and terrain can block the wind down low, and then it hits you hard once you actually climb with your drone. Near me, there is a dam that's 40 meters tall. If I was to launch from the grass below, it feels calm, but the moment the drone clears the wall, it's getting hammered by the wind. So here's the simple wind plan. If it's breezy, fly into the wind first so the return is easier if you need to. Make sure you keep extra battery in reserve because wind can drain it very, very quickly. And if you're struggling to come back against the wind, descend to a lower safe altitude where the wind is usually weaker, then fly home. And this was an expensive lesson I personally learned. I once lost a Phantom 4 drone over the ocean when the weather turned and the wind took it, and that was $2,000 just gone, just like that. So don't ignore wind just because it feels calm at takeoff. And speaking of wind, that leads perfectly into the next point because nothing kills batteries faster than fighting wind. So let's talk about the biggest beginner battery mistakes. Most beginners try to use every last percent of the battery. They keep flying until the warnings get really urgent and then realize the drone still needs power to get back and land safely. So here's the rule that I use all the time. Treat 30% battery as your fly back now alarm. Don't trust the advertised flight time that these drone companies put out because real world stuff can drain it fast, like wind, cold temperatures, and long distances. They can all cut your battery power much quicker than you would expect. And a boring early landing is way better than a stressful crash. And battery levels aren't the only thing that gives beginners false confidence because obstacle sensors do it as well. Now this may sound stupid, but don't rely on obstacle sensors. A lot of beginners think obstacle avoidance means the drone can't crash, but sensors miss thin stuff like branches, wires, and even fishing line. And if the sensors are dirty or you're flying in low light, they can miss even more. So treat obstacle avoidance like it's your backup, not an actual shield against disaster. So to help with this, do two things. Number one, clean your sensors before you fly and know which directions your drone can actually see. Some only have forward sensors, so sideways or backwards can be risky. Obstacle avoidance is helpful and I love it, but it's not a force field. Next up, we're going to talk quick shots and tracking. Fun tools, but maybe not for your first flights. Most drones now come with quick shots, active track, follow and orbit modes, and they can feel safe because the drone is doing all the work. But when you're using these automation settings, you can still crash your drone. In fact, it's easier to crash your drone. It might orbit into a tree, track a subject and drift towards obstacles, or fly in directions you're not ready for, especially sideways or backwards movements. So the best way to avoid all of this, of course, is to learn manual control first. Then when you're ready, test quick shots in a wide open field with no trees, wires or people nearby, so you can learn how the mode behaves and how to cancel it fast if you need to. If the area is crowded with obstacles, don't use automation at all. Sensors and automation aside, speed is also where beginners make mistakes. Don't turn your drone into a rocket just yet. I see this all the time. Beginners get their drone to have 2 flights and they switch to sport mode because it looks like fun, but it changes everything because the drone accelerates faster, needs more space to stop, and your inputs feel way more sensitive. The first time I tried sports mode on an early drone, it honestly scared me because I wasn't ready for how quickly it picked up speed. And on many drones, sports mode also disables obstacle avoidance. So you're losing all these safety features right when the drone is moving at its fastest. So stick to beginner, sinner, or normal mode until you can fly calmly without overcorrecting. Speed is fun, of course, but control should come first. And even in normal mode, the fastest way to crash is getting tunnel vision on the screen. So here's the rule. You need to watch the drone and not just the screen. Once people start really flying, they start flying only using the screen, like it's a kind of video game, and that's how most crashes happen. Because the cameras only really let you see forward or down. Everything else is a blind spot for things like birds, kites, power lines, trees behind you, even people walking into your area. So keep the drone in your line of sight and get in the habit of scanning up often as well, usually every 3 to 5 seconds or so. Use the screen for framing and stats like battery and GPS, not as your only awareness of things around you. And another tip for your first few flights, bring a friend as a spotter and maybe skip those complex maneuvers or shots for now. If you're worried about what if something goes wrong, that's good. That means you're thinking like a safe pilot. And here's the plan. At some point, your drone will do something that spikes your heart rate. It might drift a little, throw up a warning, get pushed by wind, or it may be facing the wrong way. And that's all things that are normal. This happens all the time. The mistake here is to actually panic and to start mashing the sticks trying to get control. So this is what you should do if something goes wrong. Number one is to stop, Let go of the sticks and let the drone hover if it can. Number 2 is to check. So you want to look at battery and signal GPS. Number 3, you want to get oriented. So you want to know exactly where the drone's sitting. So slowly yaw until you understand which way it's facing, or use the map or a landmark as a guidance. And number 4, if wind is pushing you while it's hovering, descend to a lower safe altitude until it stops moving and then fly back slowly. 5, if you don't understand a warning, just land. You can sort it out on the ground. A safe landing beats trying to fix everything in the air. And once you've landed safely, don't mentally check out just yet. The last habit that prevents future crashes is a quick post-flight check. Most people think that the flight is over the moment the drone lands, but that's just how small problems can turn into big crashes. I saw a crash where the pilot didn't notice that there was a tiny crack near a prop screw, and mid-flight the prop just popped off and the drone just nosedived. And I know this is boring, but you should do it anyway. After every flight, do this quick check. Number 1 is battery temperature. Most people don't do this, but I do this all the time. Put your hand near the battery or on the battery. If it's really hot, give it a break before your next flight. Number 2 is props. Look for chips, cracks, or anything loose. Number 3 is your sensors and gimbal. Wipe your sensors clean and make sure the gimbal moves normally. And number 4 is check your footage before you leave, because you want to confirm that you got the clips and photos that you actually wanted. And that 20-second check can save your next flight and your best shots as well. Now you've got your safety stuff handled. Next, here are 6 cinematic shots you can get without moving the drone, so you can practice control and still get great looking footage.